In a quaint village, Naneka felt the weight of her long pregnancy pressing heavily on her. For 11 months, anticipation and anxiety twisted within her, especially as she watched her lively 3-year-old son, Toby, play with other children. As the days turned into months, Neka began to worry. Most women have their babies after 9 months, but Neka's baby wasn't coming. 9 months went by, then 10, and still, the baby stayed in her tummy. Now, it had been 11 months, and Neka was getting scared. Why wouldn't the baby come? She felt like something was wrong, but she didn't know what to do. Neka had always lived in a busy city with her husband, Kelechi, and their little boy, Tobe. Tobe was 3 years old, and he was always running around and playing. He loved to laugh and explore, and Neka loved him very much. But soon, there was going to be a new baby in their family, and everyone was excited to meet the baby. When Neka found out she was pregnant with her second baby, her husband, Kelechi, said something not so surprising. "You need to go to my family's house in the village," he told her. "My mother and sister will take good care of you, and I will come visit you sometimes." Kelechi always sends her to the village anytime she's pregnant and only visit once in 2 months. Neka didn't want to leave her home in the city. She loved her life there, especially her little tailoring shop where she made clothes for people. But she trusted her husband and wanted what was best for the baby. So Neka packed her things, held Toby's hand, and went to the village. The village was very different from the city. It was quieter, with big trees and farms all around. Neka missed the city, but she tried to be happy. In the village, Neka stayed in Kelechi's family home. Kelechi's mother, Mama Nkechi, lived there too. Mama Nkechi was very, very old. She couldn't walk very well, and she always needed help to get around. Also living with them was Ada, Kelechi's sister. Ada was much younger than Mama Nkechi, and she was strong. Every day, Ada would go to the farm to work, and she asked Neka to come with her. Neka wasn't used to working on the farm, and it was hard for her because of her big belly. She was pregnant, after all. But she didn't have much choice, so every day, Neka followed Ada to the fields, even though she got tired very quickly. She missed her shop, her friends in the city, and most of all, she missed Kelechi. He only visited once every 2 months, and even then, he didn't stay long. One night, something very strange happened. Neka was lying on her mat trying to sleep when she had a dream. In her dream, she was sitting outside the house in the village, watching Toby play with the other children. The sun was shining and the children were laughing and running around. Neka felt happy watching them. But then, a very old woman appeared. This woman was even older than Mama Nkechi. She was so old that her back was bent and she could barely walk. She moved slowly, like her legs were too tired to go any faster. The old woman came up to Neka and asked in a scratchy voice, "Where is your son?" Neka pointed to Toby, who was playing with the other children. The old woman looked at Toby, then back at Neka. "Go and get him away from the other children," the old woman said. Neka was confused, but she did as the old woman said. She called Toby to her, and he ran into her arms. Then the old woman looked at Neka very seriously and said, "Now go to your sister-in-law, Ada. Tell her to release you from the spell that is keeping your baby inside." Neka's heart started to race. A spell? What did the old woman mean? Neka didn't want to go to Ada. They had never fought before, and Ada had always been kind, but the old woman wasn't finished. "If you don't tell her, I will go myself," the old woman said in a low voice. Neka felt very scared. She didn't want to make Ada angry, and she didn't know what the old woman was talking about. But before Neka could do anything, the old woman started walking toward Ada's room. Neka watched as the door creaked open and the old woman disappeared inside. Suddenly, Neka began to shiver. Her whole body felt cold and heavy and she was shaking with fear. The dream felt so real, and it scared her so much that she woke up. When she opened her eyes, she was back in her room, but her heart was still pounding. She was so scared that she had to get up and go to the bathroom again and again. She went to the bathroom 11 times that night, and each time she felt more and more strange. When morning came, Neka felt tired and confused. She got dressed and went to greet Ada like she always did. "Good morning, Ada," she said, trying to sound normal. But Ada didn't answer. She didn't even look at Neka. It was like she didn't hear her at all. Neka felt a chill run down her spine. Why wasn't Ada talking to her? Did Ada know about the dream? Was the dream somehow real?
All day, Neka couldn't stop thinking about it. She felt like something was wrong, but she didn't know what to do. She thought about the old woman's words, about the spell, and about Ada. Could Ada really be keeping her baby from being born? Later that day, something else happened. Neka felt the baby move inside her tummy. It was the first time she had felt the baby move in a long time. Then she felt a sharp pain, and she knew it was time. The baby was finally coming. But Neka didn't want to tell anyone in the house. She didn't want to tell Mama and Kichi or Ada. So she quietly left the house and walked to the village nurse by herself. It was hard to walk because the baby was coming soon, but she made it. At the nurse's house, Neka gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. The baby had big, shiny brown eyes and the sweetest little face. Neka felt so happy and relieved. She had waited so long for this baby, and now she was finally here. But as soon as she held her baby, the happiness was replaced by worry. The dream came rushing back to her. The old woman, the strange words about Ada, and the feeling that something wasn't right. Neka felt like she needed to protect her baby from something, but she didn't know what. And she couldn't stop thinking about Toby. She loved her little boy so much. How could she protect both of her children? What if something bad happened? Neka felt scared. Should she stay in the village and try to protect her baby here? Or should she take her baby and run away to the city? But what about Toby? She couldn't leave him behind. And what would Kelechi say if she left without telling him? She didn't know what the future held, but she knew one thing for certain. She would protect her children no matter the cost. Whether that meant confronting Ada, seeking help from the elders, or even escaping the village altogether, she was prepared to do whatever it took. The night had given her a warning, but the dawn had given her a purpose. Now it was up to her to decide the path she would take, whether to stay and fight the shadows lurking in her own home, or to run and seek refuge in a world she no longer trusted.